all right this time, but it's just getting to the point where it's like, why would you continue? Like, the same as like if I had seasickness, I couldn't do it. I wouldn't do it. I can enjoy places a different way.
We are at Campbeltown. We came in anchored here last night after a couple of nights, well, a week in Tarbert. We went to the festival there, pretty good, live at the lock. I met up with some friends and stuff. But we're heading south. After weeks of deliberations, we are just bolting for the south. It's too cold and windy and unpredictable up here, and it rains all the time. I think it's just September. Don't let me put you off sailing in Scotland. It's some of the best sailing I've ever had. The mountains are beautiful. The locks are easy sailing because it's well protected. We've not seen swell for 3 months. We've just been getting the waves that had the fetch of the side to the side of the lock. So from that perspective, really easy. Easier than the Solent, I would say. The same sort of tidal restrictions and stuff and chop and things, but actually there's more of it, so you can go to more places more easily, and it's way more beautiful. Much more wildlife up here. We've seen eagles and dolphins and whales and all kinds of birds and everything, so really great place to sail. Sad to be leaving. Over in the background here is our last view of the misty mountains of Arran, which will be the last Scottish mountains that we see before we get back to Ireland. The plan right now, if everything goes well, is we're going to go down to Bangor in Ireland, then over to Peel 2 days later. There's a bit of wind coming through on the Isle of Man, then possibly down to Holyhead in Wales or Dublin, we're not sure. And then Milford Haven in Wales, possibly Padstow or St Ives in Cornwall, weather dependent, all of this. We could end up in Cardiff for the winter, depending if the weather gets bad again, we might get stuck. If not, then we'd like to round Land's End and get to Falmouth. We'll spend a few weeks, a month there. I've got family in Falmouth, I've mentioned before, or in Cornwall, and then we will be either work our way up the English coast during the winter, just for visa reasons. We're also considering getting French visas for 6 months, or we're going to be heading south through Biscay, not across Biscay, and then to the Med. But as you can probably tell by the tone of my voice, none of this is certain, because we don't plan that far ahead. Sometimes you just see something nice. Sorry about the audio quality. I am not actually sure where the microphones are right now. I assume they're in one of our walking bags or something, but I couldn't see them, so this is what we're getting today. If not, we'll do a voiceover and apologise profusely, as we normally do. Good morning. So we woke up at 6 o'clock this morning, which is pretty early for us. We don't normally do that sort of thing. The last clip you may have seen would have been leaving Campbeltown for Bangor. We didn't get to Bangor. We've been in Troon for a few days. We left Campbeltown and we were headed south, and it was just the wrong day. It was very windy. Much more so than predicted. So we had predicted 13 knots of wind gusting to 20, and I reckon there was 30 knots out there. Very short, steep seas as well, so it was very uncomfortable. I also had a probably the flu or something like that, really bad cough, didn't have any sleep. So decided to turn away. We were going to go back north up into Campbeltown, but there was no diesel at Campbeltown, so we were already didn't have as much as we would like, and the town there wasn't very big or anything, so we came over to Troon, which is slightly further north actually, and holed up there for a couple of days, waited for the next weather window, which is today. Today is forecast 4 gusting 6, so we won't be sailing particularly, but at least the sea is flat and it'll be an easy day. There's a place called Loch Ryan halfway where we could go in if we need to, if it's taking too long or whatever, but we're hoping to do the whole 65 miles in one go, which would be about 12 hours, and that's fine. But at this time of year the days are quite short, so it's nearly 7 o'clock now, and it's starting to get light. It will be getting dark again 6:30, 7 o'clock, so not ideal for longer trips. It's also cold, by the way, and the weather makes it harder usually, so the wind feels stronger per mile per hour in the winter, it seems, than in the summer. Don't ask me why, it just feels that way. The waves build up a lot more easily, and also just the general, it's that time of year kind of thing. So we prefer not to do longer passages in the winter and try and keep them to 10 or so hours. And that's what we're doing today, but we're probably motoring for 10 to 12 hours today. It's going to be very tedious, but it is at least flat, so thank goodness for that. I've still kind of got a cold. Jude is starting to come down with something, so but hopefully we'll make it today. We then have probably a week of sitting in Bangor for the next weather window, if not longer, but at least we're then near to Belfast and the city, so we can do a bit of shopping, we can go to the cinema and all of the civilized kind of stuff that normal folks do. We can do that stuff. So there we are.
We are currently about 25 minutes away from Bangor Marina, so we've had a really nice day, although very limited wind, but to be fair, after the day we had trying to get from Campbeltown to Bangor, or the few hours we had then, I'm quite grateful for the fact that we just had very limited wind and a mild bit of swell. But yeah, we've had a really good day. We had some lunch on board and a few snacks, and we set off at an ungodly hour of 6 in the morning. I've got a bit of a cold, which Dave gave me, and just sort of recovering a bit from that, although I think I might have hit my worst day today, but feeling alright, had a bit of Lemsip and all of that, and had a pretty good day. We're contemplating whether or not we should be leaving tomorrow again, but we keep reminding ourselves we are not in a rush and we've got the time, and I'm sure the weather will be in our favour again, but so we're probably not going to, but we'll see what happens. We might change our mind in a few hours time or something like that, you never know. We are not good planners, so we'll see what happens when it comes. But yeah, there is a chance, if not, that we might be stuck in Bangor for a few more days, maybe a week, but we'll see. The weather's constantly changing because this wasn't really meant to be that good, and changed to no wind again. But yeah, we have...
Choosing where we're going to be stuck is the problem.
Oh yeah. Yeah, so we didn't, to be fair, we didn't want to be stuck in Campbeltown, hence why we then went across to Troon, which was good to see, like we'd not been there, and had a few nice days. And then we could get to Ardglass tomorrow quite comfortably, but then it's like, well, what's at Ardglass? Like, do we want to be stuck there for then a week?
Can we provision more?
Can we provision? Because we've got our supplies are actually all run quite dry. I think we've only really got some chickens, beef, and then we've got lots of tinned goods, so we can break into that, but it's just do we want to? We get bored of those foods. But anyway, we'll work it out and see, but we aren't in a rush, and the sooner we get down, we're then in Falmouth, and who knows if we can get berth for long enough, or what the weather will do then anyway, and then are we going to be there for 4 months and get bored? So we may as well take this slowly while we can and see what happens and work out the rest of our plans. But yeah, we are getting close. We need to watch out for some pots, and we will hopefully be in the marina and show you all of that shortly.
So it's the following morning, about 9 o'clock. We were going to stay here for a week in Bangor, but we've decided not to because the weather window carries on for a couple of days. So we've got a good opportunity to get further south. So today we're heading towards Ardglass, which is just south of Strangford Lough, where we went before. We don't want to go into Strangford Lough because there's heavy tides, and it's just a long way in, and we're only intending to stop for one night. Otherwise we would definitely go back in there if we weren't trying to get further south, because it remains one of the loveliest places we've sailed, but we are trying to get south basically. So tonight we're going to Ardglass. Tomorrow we're probably heading to Dublin, and this time instead of Hote we're thinking of going to Dunleary, but we'll see what the weather looks like tomorrow. We're only jumping today because the weather remained very good. It might be another motor today, but we're going to put the sail up and see how we get on. So yeah, fingers crossed for the day.
So we've just left Bangor, and we are about to go through the Donegal Sound. It's looking a very different day to what we previously had. We're hoping that that will stay true to when we go through it, but we will show you what happens. We were, obviously Dave said earlier, we were planning on spending a bit longer time in Bangor and all of that, and it's so difficult to decide what the best thing to do is, I find. Like, the weather was good to carry on down, and if not we might have been stuck in Bangor for 10 days. Not stuck, but like it feels like you're stuck sometimes, and we've never wintered on a boat and we're not really planning on doing that, although the whole rushing down south might seem like that. We will probably end up in Falmouth for a bit. We'll probably then end up, depending what we decide to do, to move on and maybe only spend like maximum of a month if it really happens, and hopefully we can start cruising on the south coast earlier because the weather tends to be a bit better probably than it will be up here. But yeah, it feels a bit weird to just be pushing on, and we're both not feeling our best. Like, Dave had a cold and now I've got it, and my voice is starting to get croaky. My voice normally will always go, so hopefully you'll, well, not hopefully, but like you'll probably end up hearing a very croaky Jude, but in a couple of days time, or on our videos in a couple of days. But yeah, it's like, how do you decide what the best thing to do is? Like, do you push on or not? Because we keep telling ourselves we're not in a rush, but then we rush, or it feels like we rush, but we're not, and we are going to end up probably somewhere for a few days, and the weather's worse up here in the next, like, in 2 days time than it will be when we get to Dublin. So we are doing the best thing, because then we can slow down and we probably spend some more time in Dublin if we want to, or we've both been on holidays on separate occasions, or we then cross over to Milford Haven and explore that, although I'm not really sure what's there. Dave isn't the what would you say, it's not his favourite place. But anyway, that's enough rambling from me. I'm sure what we do will be the right thing, or we'll never know if it wasn't the right thing and we're just doing it our own way. But yeah, show you some of the scenes of the Donegal Sound now.
7.6 knots.
Yeah, I think so.
So we have left Ardglass now. We left about an hour ago in the dark. We were leaving at 6 in the morning. We've got an 11-hour passage down to Dublin. but we needed to get out a little bit earlier so that we arrive in the light and at high tide for Hout, because it's difficult to get into, assuming we end up there. But that's our plan at the moment. It was Ardglass. We had mixed reviews on. The marina was really nice. The guy that runs it is really friendly, the harbour master, and couldn't fault him. And the town itself seemed quite nice. We just went out for one quick drink and then settled ourselves in for the night and had some dinner and all of that. But actually getting in to the Ardglass Marina, it's quite tight. So you have there's a sand or a rock bank, I guess is what you call it, I don't know, a rocky area to the right that you have to weave yourself into, and then there's a channel, and the channel the markers didn't align with what was on our chart, so we followed the channel anyway, and we had enough depth. I think it would have been hit and miss at low water to how much we'd have had under the keel, maybe a couple of meters, which I guess is what is charted, but it's meant to be dredged and should have been a bit more. But and leaving at night, we were lucky. We'd obviously gone in and had a track, and we could just follow the track back out. But it was quite calm in the marina, really nice. They've got a breakwater where the fisherman's pier as well, which protects it a fair amount. We did have a very squeaky night. We didn't adjust something quite right, and it was squeaky, but we were both tired and kept waking up every few hours and didn't attempt really to fix it, which we probably should have. But overall it was good. We set out. As soon as we got out, we were getting bashed with all the waves. It was dark, we couldn't really see anything. We were worried a bit about pots, so we didn't actually film any of that. I apologise, but I'm sure any sailors out there can imagine what it was like. It's calmed down a bit now. You can probably see from the camera we are being thrown around quite a bit. I'll get some footage of that in a second, but I just wanted to come down and talk about it. It's like I'm not an adrenaline junkie, I'm not a sailor, I'm just here because I like travelling, and Dave sold a story of it, and we've had that story, but the reality is you have to get somewhere sometimes, and whether or not we should have left Bangor is a question, but we're safe, but we are bashing into it and all of that. And we will set out at Dublin for a while before the next window anyway of crossing, because there is a storm coming in, and this is just the front end of it, so we just want to get through before it happens, or just a system. I'm not sure if it's an actual storm, obviously. But yeah, I'm not an adrenaline junkie, I'm not a sailor. I don't enjoy it. It is what it is. And it's like weighing up the pros and cons. But I think, other than when I said I didn't really enjoy getting to the Isles of Scilly, which 5 minutes later was alright, and I'm sure I'll be alright this time, but it's just getting to the point where it's like, why would you continue? The same as if I had seasickness, I couldn't do it. I wouldn't do it. I can enjoy places a different way, and it's weighing up, is this life for me? Realistically, I just don't, I don't know. But it's the one thing, isn't it? It's one bad sail in a year. I don't know what thoughts are for people, and whether you'd continue doing it, and whether you are continuing doing it, I don't know. Does everyone enjoy sailing? Because sailing on a good day is good, but sailing on a bad day, what do you think? Anyway, Dave will be shocked to this, but I just said what I felt. Anyway, we'll show you a bit of the footage now and keep you updated with our journey. And obviously, as you can hear, we're still ill, so that's not really helping either. Put it back on.
Well, here we are, second time in a week that we've not managed to get to the intended destination. We left Campbeltown, I don't know, about a week ago, heading for Bangor, and we ended up in Troon due to just the conditions were very, very heavy compared to what was forecast. Then we went Troon to Bangor, absolutely no wind, so that was fine. Then we did Bangor, we were headed down to Ardglass. Yesterday we got to Ardglass, very strange little harbour. It's the tightest entrance I think I've ever seen, but it was fine. And then we left Ardglass this morning, headed to Hope, or to Dublin, or to Dunleary, or one of those, all around the entrance to the Dublin, the Liffey River. And this morning again, it was just very, very strong conditions for the predicted wind. It was predicted a force 3. We were going straight into it, we knew that. We knew we weren't going to get much progress. We knew the wind would feel stronger than it is, because if you're doing 6 knots into the wind, then you're adding 6 knots to the wind speed. But the waves were obviously coming straight at us. They've been building overnight, and we just weren't making any progress, and we were tacking back and forth. Had a reef in the main and a reef in the Genoa, and we were doing like 6 knots, but we weren't doing 6 knots towards our destination, so it's going to take us 15, 16, 17 hours to do the trip. And we were on this tack anyway, and the entrance to Carlingford Lough was here, so we thought we'll stop at 6 hours today, and we're hoping to get away tomorrow and do another 7 or so hours to get to Hope, just because there's weather coming in this weekend, and we don't want to get stuck somewhere. So or we don't want to get stuck somewhere small. We need to provision. We've got almost no food on board. We have almost no water left on board, other than the spare cans that we carry. Just because we haven't bothered filling them. We've always been determined to move south and get somewhere, so we've not prioritized refilling, I guess. So yeah, we're short of everything. We're gonna have to stop soon. We're going into Carlingford Marina today. We called well ahead of time this time. If you remember, if you've been watching the channel, last time we called up on the radio on the VHF, no answer, so we ended up anchoring just back behind me somewhere, and it was a fine anchorage, but because we have the Mourne Mountains in the background, what you get is quite a lot of weather generated by the mountains, so the wind really howls down and through the lock. We're hoping that won't be the case, but we're going into the marina. It's late in the season, and we're just not in the mood for anchoring today. Both of us have got the flu or COVID or coughs or something, we're not really sure. So we just need a bit of a rest and relax for a while. So, but we're nearly there. Behind me there is an autonomous vehicle somewhere that's out doing experiments, driverless, which is interesting. But we don't know what it's doing, or why it's doing it, or why they're creating an autonomous vehicle. We just saw it on the AIS and thought it was interesting. So there we are. We're going to head in now and get tied up.
Thanks for watching, and please join us next week when we continue making our way south along the Irish coast. If you haven't done so already, please like and subscribe so you don't miss an episode.